Hi everyone and welcome to The Crows Show, brought to you by Chemist Warehouse. I'm Mark Bickley.
And I'm Alana Smith, and we're celebrating Sir Doug Nicholls' Indigenous Round this week. And during the show, players will explain why the recognition is so important.
Yes, Alana, it's certainly a highlight of the AFL season. Also in today's show, that moment that every player dreams of.
The thing that stands out the most, mate, is you really deserve this. You worked really hard. You played the game the right way, mate, so have some fun tonight and enjoy it.
And is it possible that Brodie Smith has met his match?
Who's actually the funniest? Yep, you're looking at him. Yeah, that's me, yeah.
But first, let's turn our attention to one of the biggest issues facing young Indigenous players. It's easy to simply marvel at their wonderful skills, but away from the game, they have to confront problems of assimilation and loneliness. Eddie Betts has seen too many youngsters fail to reach their potential, and he's dedicated himself to offering help and support.
Eddie Betts will never forget the homesickness he suffered when he left his Port Lincoln family to play AFL. He says overcoming the isolation and discomfort of living in a large city is the biggest obstacle facing young Indigenous players.
If you want to play AFL at the top level, you've got to step out of your comfort zone, you've got to take that next step, and your family's always going to be there for you, but you just, like I said, you have to make yourself uncomfortable, because then you'll never learn if you don't make that next step. Eddie says he was fortunate to have an Indigenous mentor at Carlton who helped him adjust to life in Melbourne. As a young Indigenous player, it's always good to have a senior Indigenous player at that club, because you're very shy, you don't talk to anyone, and you know, if you've got a senior Indigenous player there, you kind of bond with them straight away. And that is why Eddie's mission in football is to give youngsters a place they can call home. And now coming across here, you know, we've got Charlie Cameron, Wayne Malera, we have Anthony Wilson. Who still comes around my house for dinner once a week. Camilla Shulman, Curtly Hampton, and Charlie. So, you know, I tend to try make my house a home away from home for these kids that come in, and we call it a mob night, to have a nice big feed and just have a yarn and talk about stuff. He says it's vital for all clubs to have senior Indigenous players to act as role models and help prevent the terrible waste of youngsters quitting the game. It's just hard seeing young Indigenous kids pack up and leave. You know, they've got so much talent in the world. You know, you've got people out there that's dying for their spots, and to see them pack up and leave, it's not good. Eddie is grateful that his extended Indigenous family gives so much in return for his hospitality. All these boys come around to my house, and I've got my two sons calling them uncles and kicking the footies with them, and they're like babysitters for us. So, you know, they do a lot for me than what I do for them. So I thank them for it.
No doubt the young men are in very good hands. Last weekend's excellent debut performance by Hugh Greenwood capped off a remarkable 2-year crossover from basketball to football. But a special moment he'll always remember happened before the game, when he was presented with his guernsey in front of teammates and family.
Especially about a couple of young guys who are going to play their first game. It's great to have their parents in the room. Always a special day for parents as well, to see their son make their debut. So also I'll hand over to you to talk a bit about Hughie, mate. Beautiful. Obviously, boys, great pleasure to present this to Hugh today. First of all, welcome to Oni and Sticks, come up from Tasmania today. Hugh's number 213th, played a debut for the footy club. The most, I guess, coveted player was Tyson Stengline, played 100 games over a 10-year period. Hugh, I guess the main thing when you come in the club, mate, you're brought a real professional. Obviously, you come from basketball, really successful in basketball. You know, I remember you said to me that you wanted to, I guess, be taken more seriously as a footballer, so you thought you'd cut your hair, which is good. But I think the thing that stands out the most, mate, is you really deserve this. You worked really hard. You played the game the right way, mate. So have some fun tonight and enjoy it.
Signed with the Perth Wildcats just a couple of years ago. He walked out on them. Now a shot at goal directly in front. The hoop dreams are a thing of the past. Hugh Greenwood is in the AFL at last. Greenwood, he's just kicked one. Maybe he's going to have three. What a dream debut for Hugh Greenwood.
cliche, pretty speechless at the moment, but relieved first and foremost. Coming off 2 losses, it was really important that we came out and got a win today for the boys. So obviously a few milestones with Sloaney and Brownie and then Gooch and I making our debuts. We needed a win. The reality is, my mum shouldn't be here, but she fought, and I made her promise that I'd be here and she'd see me play my debut, and we did that. And then my pop played 99 games, so as a family to get 100 is pretty special. There's just so many factors. I wasn't really out here to prove anyone wrong. I was just wanting to prove the ones that supported me and believed in me that I could do it, and I feel like I've done that today.
Hugh couldn't have made a better start to his AFL career. When Alana returns, the Crows reach out to children in need. And the 4-wheel drive challenge. Is Paul Seedsman up to the task?
My favourite thing about Indigenous Round is the beauty of our footy club. We've had so many Indigenous players through our footy club, and I think over that time they've all come from different backgrounds and they've all got different stories, and I've been lucky enough to be able to hear those and sit down and listen to what their story has been.
Welcome back. Well, each week for the past 2.5 years, we've relied on Brodie Smith to give us a few laughs by putting teammates in the hot seat, all thanks to Revolution Roofing. Richard Douglas is also known to have a dry sense of humour, so let's see what happens when they get together.
Welcome to the Victory Veranda hot seat. This week we've got Richard Diggy Dugwell. Richard, where were you born?
In hospital.
Where was the hospital?
In Preston, in Melbourne.
Which club did you support growing up?
The Mighty D's.
And favourite player?
Alan Jakovich, brother of Glenn.
Which player at the club thinks they're the funniest?
Andy Otten.
God.
Yeah. A long way.
And he's so far off it.
Fair way back.
Who's actually the funniest?
Yep, you're looking at him. Yeah, that's me, yeah.
If you could be a professional at any other sport, what would it be?
Table tennis.
Well, on that, who's the best at the club? I know you rate yourself out there.
I have to be truthful with this one, and it hurts me to say, but Tom Lynch is quite good.
Who would you least like to see next to you on a plane?
Plucky? Nah, I'm only joking.
Much of a cook?
Yep.
And favourite dish?
Favourite dish would be chorizo pancetta. Pancetta.
I don't even know what that is, but nice.
I just made that up, I'm not sure. I do like cooking, but I don't have a favourite dish.
Well, that was so good. I think we should get them back. Next week, round 2 of Smithers and Dougie. Should be a good one. Well, it's fair to say that no one likes a backseat driver, least of all when you're trying to negotiate a difficult 4-wheel drive course in our Toyota Hilux Challenge. When Josh Jenkins was put behind the wheel last week, Paul Seedsman gave him a bit of stick. So today we'll find out if Seeds can do any better.
Paul.
All good, mate. Let's do it.
I think so.
Deeper drag.
Yeah, you got to tell me how to drive this thing.
Brace yourself.
It's good fun. I've not done any 4-wheel driving before, so he said that was the smooth track, and that was definitely the roughest thing I've ever been on.
Don't try and hit everyone.
My favourite bit was the bit at the top where you could swing her out.
Are you allowed to?
Give some biscuits.
I got it sideways up the top, which was a bit of fun.
Wax on, wax on.
And then going down the bit where you're going on the side.
Mate, I'd drive better on the side.
As long as you're not sitting in the back for too long, you feel a bit crook bouncing around, especially when Josh was driving.
He reckons this is one of the easy tricks. No. I can't wait to come back into the hard one. I definitely wouldn't be a passenger if it was in the hard one, but I've almost threw up before.
No, definitely the roughest track I've ever hit by a long, long way. The freeways in Melbourne are a bit smoother. It's definitely worthwhile.
Not quite Good enough seeds, just a mere second behind Josh and sitting in 8th position among our current and past players, all out to prove who is the club's best off-road driver. Now, each year, players and coaches devote some of their spare time to assisting charities. Canteen is an organisation dedicated to helping kids cope with cancer, either as a patient or as the child of someone with cancer. In partnership with the Crows Children's Foundation, they want young people to make healthier choices. When Jake Hudson's mother Michelle was diagnosed with breast cancer nearly 2 years ago, family life was turned upside down. Without the help of Canteen, Michelle doesn't know how they would have coped.
Honestly, they've been lifesavers to us. I can't thank them enough.
While Michelle underwent surgery and intense post-operative treatment, Canteen stepped in to give Jake a break. That's how he finished up at the Crows, with other young people in similar circumstances learning to live a healthy lifestyle.
Learning life skills like cooking, being fit, being a better me.
In conjunction with the Crows Children's Foundation, Canteen has designed a special program known as Stronger Me.
It's a program that they've come up with the Children's Foundation. Is a life skills program, helping the kids learn the skills they need to achieve what they want to achieve in their lives.
Apart from physical drills, the young people are able to question players about how they achieve their own goals.
And that's what we were trying to, I guess, instill into them, the importance of a healthy lifestyle and what they eat. Physical activity is really important also, so I think they got a fair bit out of it, which is good.
Importantly, the program allows children who are all going through the same turmoil to meet and share experiences.
I guess we didn't have much time to do fun stuff as a family, and Canteen's really helped me to do stuff like that. I've found friends that know the same thing that I'm going through.
Since the foundation was established 12 years ago, it's distributed $1.2 million to different charities. Now, stay with us. Still to come, if you think you don't see enough of the Crows, then spare a thought for our long-distance supporters. And as we go to the break, some more reflections on the importance of Indigenous Round.
Well, Indigenous Round means a lot, just celebrating the past and present players that have been involved in the game. So it just made a pathway for us players at the moment, and yeah, all the stuff that goes on during the week.
While in Brisbane last week, we caught up with Foundation Crow Sean Tasker. The former North Adelaide Premiership player racked up 48 games for the Crows in the early 90s as a reliable defender and occasional forward before returning to the Sandful and playing for Glenelg Sturt. In this segment, Flying the Nest, brought to you by Flight Centre, we find out Sean is still a dedicated teacher.
Gets it away in effect. Tasker back to goal, but he can make something here. Turns, kicks, and for one of the few times hasn't seen his kick touched on the line. It's a goal.
The honour of having a debut in the Tricolours at Footy Park. The first year was awesome, and then to play some finals footy, and then when the club went and won the grand final, you know, the best of both worlds, played in the SANFL when it was hot to trot, and then have the opportunity to play AFL footy and stay at home. Oh, that was just awesome. Really enjoyed it.
They're in the grand final despite this kick from Sean Tasker.
At the time, it was really different. I think people forget we didn't really have a club, we didn't have a home base, we sort of got plonked into Footy Park. We had to make our own culture, and the depth of the fellas around that time to create a culture that's gone on to be what is today, I think's kudos to those guys.
Sean Tasker. Looks as though he's enjoying the stint down forward. Normally a good kick, that is an excellent kick. That's his fourth.
So living in Queensland, been here for 5 years, spent some time at Toowoomba Grammar School in education, and the last sort of 2 and a bit years I've moved into Brisbane at Anglican Church Grammar School. So Director of Sport and Activity, so leadership positions within the school, so a big school with big programs, and you're managing 200 plus staff within your own programs.
Top strong, here's Tasker with a chance. kicked his first goal for the season a moment ago. There's his second.
3 young boys, and they love the Crows. Lairdy's the favourite at the moment, so we follow it all the time and watch it on the box whenever it's on, which is good.
In the world, full forward, good lead. Very good lead, Tasker. He looks as though I find a little mix down there.
Among Sean's opponents back in the early days, Gary Ablett Sr. and Tony Lockett, so he certainly had his work cut out. Now, players are used to having their lives and their lifestyle carefully managed by the club, even down to what they should eat after a game.
Hi guys, here again thanks to Thomas Farm's Kitchen. As an elite athlete, protein and nutrition is pretty important, especially after a game. Bree, our dietitian's always banging on about it, so we're here. We've got some steak inside here. I'm going to open it up, and I'm not the best cook, so I love getting pre-made ingredients and tucking into some protein that you get in this steak. Obviously after a game we use heaps of energy and use heaps of calories, so it's really important that we get protein and nutrients. That's what Thomas Farm does. The ingredients provide you with all that, your post-recovery game and everything you need to get back to normal. Obviously I'm no good in the kitchen, as you've seen a few times this year. Lucky they make it easy and all the ingredients are right here.
The Crows have many dedicated supporters around the country, none more so than those in Queensland, who, if they're lucky, may get to see just 2 games a year. So, Coach Don Pike and his players were keen to meet the Queensland supporter group and President David Fairley.
He's in the pocket, Eddie. He's in the pocket, Eddie. Crafting some magic. Eddie Betts.
The Adelaide Crows Queensland Supporters Group is an opportunity for people to come together and celebrate the AFL and watch their favourite team, which doesn't happen very often. Unfortunately, we only get 2 games up here in Queensland, one to the Gold Coast and one to Brisbane, but this gives Queenslanders an opportunity to travel around the state and come to the games.
This is into the pocket. Charlie Cameron Electric.
The Adelaide Crows supporters group up here in Queensland is about 600 people on Facebook, but there are about 5,000 people that go to the games. I think 5,000 supporters for Crows and 8,000 for Brisbane. We easily hold our own, I'd say.
Again, Cameron with the big leap.
So these sorts of functions give Queensland supporters an opportunity to interact with the players, to find out what the coach is thinking, and maybe to learn a little bit about what the Adelaide Football Club does during the course of the season to get itself up.
But it spills to Bent, handball over the top, setting up Taylor Walker, who snaps it back beautifully off the left.
Keep watching, we're still to find our lucky face in the crowd, and we'll check out some social media highlights.
My favourite things about Indigenous Round is the artwork on all the jerseys. There's thousands of tribes out there, and you know, I'm Indigenous, but I'm still learning about all the different designs and artworks and tribes that's out there. You know, I'm Cookatha from South Australia. My mum's a Gabron from Western Australia, and Ghana is the jersey that we're representing on the weekend.
Welcome back. Well, as we take a look at a couple of highlights from social media, remember that by joining the Crows on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, you'll get exclusive insights and breaking news every day. Here we have Eddie Betts having a bit of fun at the expense of his teammate Andy Otten. Poor old Otto, he must have been in a real rush to get to the airport because he put his tracksuit pants on back to front. And we all like hearing the song after a good win, but it's even better when there are debutantes involved. Don't think there was too much Gatorade left afterwards. Now, this is when it pays to be seen at the footy. We're looking for our Crow in the crowd. What if we settle on you? If you recognise yourself, contact the club by 5 p.m. next Wednesday. Be ready with some photo ID and you'll win a merchandise pack. Well, the club is always looking to discover new talent, so make sure you're watching next week when we'll introduce you to Sudanese refugee Ding Kerr from our Next Generation Academy.
That was the main thing Mum tried to move us here, just like the opportunities and try to like get the most out of moving here, because from the war-torn country there wasn't that much opportunities.
Certainly a young man to keep an eye on. That just about wraps up our special Indigenous Round show, brought to you by Chemist Warehouse.
Don't forget, visit the club website, afc.com.au, for all the latest news and player profiles.
Thanks for joining us today, and we look forward to your company again next Sunday at 11:30 on 7. Bye for now.
We'll see you then.